All right. So this week is our last week in this format. Next week, we'll have a lot of new people joining us. I'm going to encourage you guys all to make sure that you're signed up in A, Mighty Networks, and B, get ready to start collaborating with more people. I think our scope has passed like 20 plus states, God knows how many different markets. So today, I want us to all reflect back on our 2021 numbers. How many people actually keep track of their numbers? Okay, everyone needs to raise their hands, right? So one of the big things that we're really going to be drilling home in this fourth quarter is how to run your business like a business. You know, for those of you at the event, I shared how even when my mom first came here, my parents got married and my dad worked here and then my mom came here after. The first day she came home, my dad worked the day, did all of his books, and then spent time with my mom. Could you imagine that in today's world? That'd be pretty crazy. But he always said knowing your numbers is the most important thing. And if you look at all of your businesses, they're 6-figure, 7-figure businesses, money coming in, money going out, but yet we don't know any of this. So I wrote this quote down. Real estate is a business that looks really good on a piece of paper and not your bank account. Real estate is a business that looks really good on a piece of paper, but not your bank account. We have these businesses that make so much money, and then at the end of the year, it's like, did you pay your taxes? How much money did you pay yourself? And it's like, you look at some of this stuff and there's not enough emphasis on it. So there's two sets of numbers, guys. Number one, it's all the financial numbers, right? Like how much money do you have in overhead? Right. So I want us all to have a conversation today about this. I want some of us to be vulnerable and honest. And I'm going to trust us all to unmute each other and not be crazy about this, right? And I want to go through the two sets of numbers and then set you guys up to set up some goals. Number one is, how many people actually know the operating costs of their business every month?
I think my partner does more than I do.
Okay, then that counts because you guys are partners. So I give you a check. Anyone else?
Yeah, I don't, not off the top of my head, but I could ask the ops manager and she would tell me at any given time. But frankly, I should know.
Anybody else?
Same for me. I have it recorded. I have someone doing it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I could access it.
Okay, so listen, guys, you want to know the number one reason you all need to know, especially when someone else does? You don't ever want anyone holding you hostage. A lot of people end up in bad situations with people because they have a certain set of information that they never knew, they got comfortable with. And then when you have to have a difficult conversation, like, well, I don't know, they have this stuff. These things are all connected together, right? Like, God forbid, I don't think, Josh, in your case, the ops person's going anywhere anytime soon. But like, you need to know this stuff, right? It is a basic thing. Then the flip side is, how many people actually know how much money it costs to run their life? Okay, so if we go by statistics here, right? Less than 10% of the people know how much money it costs to run their business. And maybe 10% of the people know how much it costs to run their life. It's kind of scary, right? Irene, imagine doing one of your previous careers and you didn't know these numbers, or someone didn't know their numbers, they wouldn't have a job.
Absolutely. You don't know your stuff, you're out.
Right. So look, as we talk about building profitability, scalability, and all of this other stuff, we need to start with the basics. So can we all make a commitment between this week and next week? We're going to learn how much it costs to run our business and how much it costs to run our life. 2 basic numbers.
Hey, Chirag, can you just do a clarifying point in terms of run our life? In terms of, does that mean, like our own personal expenses and how much we need to earn to be able to pay the bills or is that what we're talking about?
I like fixed cost, right? Like your fixed cost is, I joke around, there's a blank number in our lives to just wake up and breathe air in my household, right? Assuming we never went out to eat or anything else and you had to cut it all back, how much money do you need to live? And when you start understanding that number, then you realize you have to take, say it's $20,000 a month, you have to earn plus 30% that number every month because you have to factor in taxes, right? Now, I'm probably freaking some people out right now, but I want to help people pay down their debt, save more money, and understand the big theme of everything that I'm committing my entire life for you guys to, and what I believe is my life's work and purpose, is to help you build a career, right? Yep, live more life, right? Because once you have money and you understand the numbers, then you can start enjoying your life. But if you don't know any of these numbers, that's why people just keep working and working and working and working, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're coming from this place of fear. No, I have to do this. You don't have to do this. This is what you have to do, right? And then the goal is to build 6 to 12 months in your personal life, ideally a year, your business, ideally 6 months, right? Like you want to have that reserve account. So then when it comes time to taking a day off, not answering your phone, you don't feel so fearful of doing it because you don't have money, right? Comfort and certainty are the 2 biggest human needs for most people. You like to do what feels comfortable and you want to do things that are certain. So I know I'm not saying anything that's rocket science, but remember, guys, for everyone that came, and I'll share this with everyone, I really want to create that movement of helping people earn more and live more, right? Because if you look at a business is like a shop, right? If someone has a small coffee shop, that's a business. They're going in there and they're literally doing the same exact thing year after year after year. Careers are people are developing over time. So the most important thing is when you approach your real estate business as a career, you're going to outperform everyone over time because you're going to think about it and act differently. Who here has ever read Simon Sinek or watched the keynote on YouTube, The Infinite Game? Everyone should go watch that YouTube video. It'll save you a lot of time in reading the book and you could get a lot out of it, right? And there are 2 types of games.
Can you, what is it?
Simon Sinek, The Infinite Game. Now, this is where mindset kicks in. If you look at games, there's an infinite game and a finite game. And a finite game has a clear winner and a clear loser. It's like football, right? It has a clear starting point and a stopping point. An infinite game is like your real estate business. It just keeps going and going and going. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind, new players come in, sometimes players drop out. But if you approach an infinite game as a finite player, you'll never win, right? Because people are always playing for a bigger picture because the game keeps going. Now, if you look at your money, your skills, your system, the people you invest in, if you approach all of this as an infinite game, who wins over time? The infinite game players. Because the person that's doing a business is not looking on how to build successfully for a long period of time. They're looking to hit a 1-year metric, and you can do both, right? So those are the numbers I want you guys to just start having a basis on, right? And then also like set a savings goal. Every person should have a savings goal of how much money they want to pay themselves first. If you're not at least taking out 10%, like to put in a savings account, that's really scary. You have to pay yourself first, right? And then everything else. Real estate agents never pay themselves first, right? And they're waiting for some home run ball that says, well, when I get this big check, when I do this, it's like I'm waiting for that destination, then I'll do it. It never happens, right? For people that have been doing this a while, like really look back for the last few years and be honest with yourself. Now let's start going to our business numbers. right? Like are actual working in our business. Someone unmute themselves and share what numbers they actually track in their business.
I can speak. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, whoever that was.
Go ahead, Betsy. Sorry.
Oh, Justin, hi. Okay. Justin, you're smarter, so you can go last. But the one thing I do track, because I spend so much money on it, is my marketing. And I've spent a bloody fortune this year, but it's paid off. I will
Okay,
say.
when you say you track it, right? You track how much, what part of the money do you track? Like, let's be detailed about it.
Okay. So, and I learned this year through you, because I clearly was not doing this initially. I was just spending. So I track the initials. Let's say I spent $5,000 on the Food Truck Friday event that lasted 5 months this summer through September. Then what I do is I track. So that's 5,000 flat, done, invested. Then I track how many leads I got, and then how many leads turned into listings. So that's the way I've been tracking. And maybe that's wrong, but that's how I've started tracking.
How much money in, right? How many leads created, how many listings, and how many commission, right? So
Correct.
then you could track a dollar for dollar return. And the second level of that is after your compass split, right? So that's your net dollar in, dollar out. Now that's really tracking for a business. Now here's the other set of stuff. Justin, what do you track?
So we track. So shout out to Zach Rosen, because when he did a Zoom meeting or Zoom talk last year, I like took a screenshot of his spreadsheet. But we have everything broken up into quarters. We track how many what listing volume we have, what's our sales volume. We track the source of closed deals. We track our cold calls. We track our presentations. We track how many how many showings it gets to in contract. We track payroll. We track marketing expenses. The only thing I haven't tracked well was how much marketing we spend per listing to figure out like an actual net and an actual ROI per listing. But we pretty much have been doing a good job of tracking the rest.
How many people track numbers like that? I know you do, Andrea. So, okay, now let's start talking about numbers, right? So for listings, you want to track how many appointments do you go on. The second thing is, how many listings do you take? How many price reductions do you do? Right? So look at a listing. I went on one appointment, right? I got one listing. I had to do 3 price reductions. How many listings sold? List price to sales price, original list price to sales price. Now, someone tell me why all those numbers are important.
They let you know whether or not your efforts are actually resulting in your targeted outcomes.
One answer. Anyone else?
And with that, you can diagnose where you need to spend your efforts.
David Saba said it's a benchmark for improvement. So here's the thing. If you know you are getting multiple price drops per listing, you know you need to work on how to share the market, right? If you have a lot of listings that you take that aren't selling, excuse me, if you get a lot of listings that you take that are not selling, then you know you need to work on your pricing, right? If you're going on a lot of appointments and you're not converting them, you need to know that you need to work on your pitch, right? All of these data say something. List price to sales price, original list price. You want to know all this stuff because at some point, if you deal with like a really analytical freak client, it's all really important, right? But this is how you know where to practice your skills. Again, we'll make worksheets with all of this stuff for you in the fourth quarter. And you guys just have to be disciplined in filling them out, right? And especially for the people that have teams, have someone else fill them out for you. Because there's certain core areas that you need to master, like pricing property effectively. Communication plans is the first thing we're going to do on October 3rd. Like, can we all be excited? Because I'm really excited that by the end of the week of October 3rd, you're going to have a written communication plan. You're going to know exactly how to present it. And then I'm going to teach you on the Thursday that week on how to make sure that no one ever gets mad at you at the price that you tell them their house is worth. And it's 100% their idea. Guys, you guys don't own the market. You're not available 24 hours a day, and you need to start focusing on where to improve your skills. So every person here will have to figure out a skill that they want to master for the first quarter. Because if you practice the same skill every day, it should take you about 3 months to master it. So now let's go to buyer appointments, right? How many appointments do you go on? How many offers do you write? How many accepted offers do you have? How many go into contract and how many closed? So you know in this one, here's the most important one. If I see the amount of offers you're writing are crazy versus the amount that get accepted, what does that tell you? Anybody? Oh, I stumped you. It tells you that you need to work on how to communicate the market with people up front.
I feel like it can go even beyond how to communicate better with the listing agent.
Well, the listing agent, you can't control them. You can control your buyers, right? Like, we'll get into how to write effective multiple offers, but even that, you can communicate your offer with the listing agent. There's still the client that has to make the decision, right? And that's not to say that that's not important, but if you're going into a neighborhood, let's just say, let's see, what market do I want to pick? I will pick in Miami, right? If you know that the average list price to sales price is 107%, and the people aren't willing to pay 108% or 109% because every month it seems the market keeps going up, what real chance do they have of finding a home? What real chance do you have of making money? So this is the part I want to impart on this, on why the numbers are important. See, again, if we don't know our numbers, we don't know the cost of living, we don't know the cost of our business, this is how it all ties together. If you realize that you need to make a certain amount of money every month, plus 30% to live your life, right, because of taxes, then you realize how important your time is with your clients. And then you're not going to be afraid to have this conversation in the beginning that says, hey, Cassandra, has anyone taken the time to share with you how to write a winning offer in this market? Now, if a person says, no, I don't want to know that, do you think they're a good client? No. Guys, I think I want you to wrap your heads, and I think a lot of us are getting to these. These questions are more for you than they are for them. It feels like they're for them, right? If people don't want to share with you what's most important to them about the agent and company they work with, is that someone who really wants to objectively interview people or really want to be helped? The answer is no. So we need to start building these things as part of our business. And the word I'm going to use is courage. And we need to have the courage to do them with everybody. And if the people don't want to work the way we want to work, then you have to get in the habit of saying no. That's how all of you end up in these bad situations. And it all ends the same way. But Chirag, I put so much time into them. I can't walk away now. And it's a saying, don't put good money behind bad money. And I always say, don't put good time into bad decisions. Right? Don't put good time into bad decisions. We are going to be creating budget templates. So for the fourth quarter, everything that we talk about at the end of every session, there'll be a deliverable. So each week we'll be sending you guys in advance. So you have to actually read our emails now, right? we'll be sending you in advance. There's a saying we have, it's ADR, it's agents don't read, right? Like during the event, the amount of emails that we got of, do you have an event schedule? And it's like, I would look at this and I would just shake my head. I'm just like, we've sent 8,000 emails communicating like what the schedule is and here's where you go. So you have to read our emails every Sunday, number one. Number two, everything to download will be in Mighty Networks. There's no more, hey, can you send this to us? There are far too many people to do that. So we're gonna start having onboarding sessions once a week to get people on there where you can show up and, if you have specific questions on where to find things, how to go on, how to log on, we'll be doing a 1-hour session. I believe we'll start doing them on Fridays. We just have to confirm the details with our team. And it's important to do this because as we provide you all the deliverables, you want to download them in advance, right? You don't want to show up here without this stuff done. It'll all be fillable PDFs, or for a lot of us, I'm old fashioned too. It's something like that. I'd want to print it out and actually write it. But everything we talk about will have a deliverable. But today I really wanted to set the stage for what we want to do next, right? Would it be better, Irene, if we communicated just through Mighty Networks?
We'd have to get proficient at Mighty Networks.
Correct. And I think all the links, and that's the only way I get through anything, but the links don't always work. It works better on my phone than it does on my laptop. And I've asked for help a number of times and, no help has come, but.
We are not a technical support company. We can help people the best that we can. So look, I understand from teaching at the MLS and doing this for many years and working at Compass, there's varying degrees of technical knowledge. So look, we work our best to try to do it. We're not, again, tech support, but we want this to work for you guys. So look, while we have everyone here, right, we're not going to bombard people with emails. There's one email that's going to go out on Sundays with everything in it, right?
Okay.
So make sure every Sunday that you check your email, and there'll be a link in the email to go to Mighty Networks and to download the stuff, right? So there'll be one weekly email with everything in here, right? For the week.
That's awesome.
Now, everyone else, like who here enjoys going to Agent Talk, right? Everyone goes on here. So today we're starting something new. One of the things that we wanted to do for everyone was, everyone's like, I want to ask them a question. I want to ask them a question. So if you haven't, I'm going to put the link in the chat box. Follow our social media account. We're going to post. Stacy Froelich is going to be on, and she is like, I think quadrupled her GCI from last year to this year. And she's going to be on, and she's an open book. So whoever wants to ask very specific questions, put them onto our post today, and we're going to be picking the questions out of our social media going forward. So every week on Monday, we'll post whoever's going on Wednesday. And if there's any question you want to ask, we're going to share what's great about what they do, and that's how we'll be picking out the information. Andrew, can you just drop our social media link in the chat box? So guys, that's what we have coming. So we're going to make sure to keep leveling up your experience and what we have to offer you. I know that having some live sessions once a week for Mighty Networks, would that be helpful for everyone to really understand how to get in there, get connected and everything else? So, and look, it's also another good place to go meet everyone else. Oh, wait, hold on, Andrew. Let's put the link in. All right, so can everyone understand those two basic numbers for next week? How much it costs to run your business, how much it costs to run your life. And take those numbers and paste them on something big in front of you. Know those numbers, dream about those numbers, obsess about those numbers. The second takeaway for today is, at least 10% pay yourself first, please, for the love of God, put money in a savings account. Number 3, start tracking your what you do with buyers. Number 4, start tracking what you do with sellers. So you understand where your focus needs to be, and you don't haphazardly keep working in a business as if you're selling the same cup of coffee every day. That's not what you guys do. And number 4, I know a lot of us were, some of us were here and some of us were not here in Brooklyn. Look at your screen time on your phone. I'm going to end with this today. If you look at the screen time on your phone, you will see where all of your wasted time goes. I love the idea that people tell me I don't have time to do this. And then on the coaching calls, people have gotten smarter and not started saying that since I started doing this to people. And clearly someone talked to somebody else and ruined my surprise. I'm like, really, why don't you open your screen time and hold that thing up there? Oh, you're spending an hour and 45 minutes a day on Instagram. It will tell you your daily use, your average weekly use, right? Now we can get strategic with it. The next thing it'll tell you is what is most used. There's also, my favorite thing in there is the word pickups. It'll physically tell you how many times you pick it up. There was an agent I spoke with at the event. She picked up the phone once every 6 minutes, and that was based on a 24-hour period. You base that on her waking hours. It's like, what do you do? How can you get anything done all day? So if you look at the pickups on your iPhone, the next thing next to that is a thing called first used. It shows you what you're picking up the phone to do each time, right? Then the next thing is notifications. It'll tell you how many notifications you're getting on for what. It's mind-boggling when you really go through this. So even in like the practice which you preach realm, I have my phone off and it's almost 10 a.m. I'm really making a conscious effort to keep that screen time down. So you'll see all the free time you want to do all the things we talk about are just in your cell phone. So if you have not mastered that, that is a skill that I want you guys all to work on forever. So we'll be sending out some worksheets about this too, where you should at the end of every week fill out your screen time numbers and be conscious about what you're doing. And yes, I do understand you run a business. I do understand your clients call you, but here's the thing. The people that sign listing agreements with you signed a contract. You can't cancel your contract with Audi because you don't like the thing and they didn't respond to you, or that they left you on hold for 3.5 hours to speak to someone. It is a contract. The number one reason that people call you like this is they don't know when they're going to hear from you again, or you did not give them a clear expectation of what that was going to be like. And then there's the third, you let the crazy-eyed clients through the door. All right, guys, I think I'm finally starting to lose my voice. I have to go find my honey, because I was walking around like this little teddy bear for a few days to salvage my voice. But listen, I thank you all for being here. I have one request of everybody. Can you please share with a friend for next week? We're going to be doing an open enrollment call on Thursday for our next 90-day program of group coaching. Just like you guys ask your past clients for business because you've done a good job, I hope I have. Can you guys at least share what we're doing for the next 90 days with one person?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, everybody. I will
I
see you.
did, Chirag, to several people actually.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Look, my goal is to grow the biggest community of people that all want to earn more money and live more life. And just as it's important as what I teach you, it's even more important on how you guys collaborate, connect, and grow together, because real estate's a very lonely journey. And when you can share it with other people, mastermind, practice together, grow together, it becomes a lot more fun, a lot more successful, and it gets done, right? So there's a lot to be said about accountability groups. For those of you who signed up that couldn't make it, I'll give you the recording.
Awesome. Thank you.
And we'll send you a workbook once we have it. All right, guys, I'll see you guys all later. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.